creative friends, welcome to my channel. I should say our channel because Brian is here. He's participating in this because I'm super excited because what month is it?
Canuary.
It's Canuary. So I love this month because Lisa over at Sutton's Days does an amazing job, and she does this super cool collaboration called Canuary. Bunch of channels, it's just fun, okay? And we're going to have 2 videos that we're going to do, and Brian is going to do them because this is the face of retirement right there. He needs he needs something to do, so he's going to can. But anyway, it's really a good collaboration, and at the end of it, what you need to do is make sure you watch all the channels. And how are you going to find out where the channels are? In my description box, there is going to be a link over to Lisa's website because there's so much information, I can't remember it all. There's going to be all the names of the channels and the links to their channels to watch their videos. There's going to be all the information about the amazing giveaways. I'm going to tell you, every year in Canuary, did you know this is amazing? Lisa gives away a Presto, one of the big 21 quart canners. And how are you going to get that? You have to watch all the videos. You have to comment in there. And then at the end of the month, she'll pick the date and then look at the video from that date and then do a random thing from those comments. So make sure you're watching, commenting, and heck, while you're there, subscribe and like and do all the notifications. Do all that stuff. But this year, Canuary is bumped up even because it's being sponsored by 4 Jars. Yes, 4 Jars. Amazing products. 4 Jars canning lids. So cool. They even have good towels. I mean, it's just a good company, and I love the fact that they popped up in the middle of the pandemic and they helped fill the gap and the need for canning lids when nobody could get any. These guys came out, and they're awesome. I pretty much use these lids exclusively. I've never had a fail. I've never had anything happen with them, and they're a good quality product. But they are giving away stuff like an All-American, I think it's the 21 quart All-American canner, which is like, I think those are like $400. It's huge. Gift baskets, gift cards, lids, just tons of stuff. And I can't remember it all, so be sure and check that link and go over to Lisa's it's her website for a complete listing of it. So we're going to get started, and Brian is going to start canning. This is going to be fun. All right, this is the video. This is what the recipe that Brian's going to do, and it's from this the all-new ball book of canning and preserving, and I wanted to do this. It's the white balsamic rosemary jelly. The reason I wanted to do this is because I have tons and tons of fruit jellies and fruit spreads and all of those sweet things, and I wanted something that would be good for other reasons. And the reason I like this is because look at that picture. I'm totally going to make pork chops with this on it, like a glaze. So let me go over the ingredients that we have here. There's 2.5 cups of apple juice right here, and I'm using my home canned apple juice. Yummy yum. So we're going to use that in there. There's 3/4 cups of white balsamic vinegar, and if you're going to make this, you need to be serious because this stuff is spendy. I'm telling you, I think that's the most expensive balsamic vinegar I ever bought. But it's going to make an awesome thing to add to my pantry to make even better and more exciting meals. 4 tablespoons of the Ball Classic pectin, and that's right here in this jar. You can still, there's like the little boxes too, and there's, I think it is 2 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons is a box. Yes, 1 old box is 6 tablespoons of this pectin. So if you only have a box, you're going to want to have to do it by tablespoons and take it out of there. Anyway, so there's that. And then a nice 4-inch sprig of rosemary. If you don't like rosemary, you can use, it says thyme or tarragon, but we're going rosemary because I'm going to use it with pork chops. And then 3 1/3 cups of sugar. And I already measured everything out, so it's easier for you. Awesome. All right, so we need to get a pot, that pot. And it says what we're going to do is combine the first 4 ingredients in a 4-quart pot. And so stainless steel or enamel, because we're using vinegar, you don't want to put it in like aluminum. So we're going to put the 2.5 cups of apple juice. Woo-woo. And then we're going to put the 3/4 cup of the vinegar. Here, I'll take that. I'll put that over here. Okay. And then, this is weird for me to put the ball pectin in before it comes to a boil, but that's what we're going to do. 4 tablespoons of ball pectin. I'm going to put that. And then we're going to put the rosemary sprig, because there's only 5 ingredients, and that's the first 4. Perfect. Now, we're going to take this over, and we're going to put it on the stove. We're going to stir that up. You can use that. Mix it real well. And then what's going to happen is this is going to come to a boil that cannot be stirred down. And then we're going to add the sugar, kind of like in a traditional jelly recipe. And then we have to bring that to a full boil and boil hard for a minute, skim the foam, and then discard the rosemary, and then it's going to go in the jars. The jars are prepared. They're all washed, and they're in the, I have my electric boil water canner up here today, and they're prepared in that I haven't sterilized them because this is processing for 10 minutes. So if your processing time is 10 minutes or more, you don't have to pre-sterilize your jars, so that makes it kind of cool. So let's head over to the stove and see how this is looking. Brian's got the heat on, and he's going to stir. You want to stir it until everything's... Isn't that cool? It kind of hangs on the side of the pot. So he actually asked a really good question. What was the question you asked? About the boiling.
What? I don't even remember the question anymore.
You asked, what does it mean by not be stirred down?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He legitimately did ask that question.
I did.
So it means that when it's boiling so rapidly, you know, a lot of times you'll get bubbles and you stir them and the bubbles go away. It means that whether no matter you stir it and it's still boiling, it can't stir the boil down. So that's what that means. So we're going to get it up to that point and then we'll bring you back. We've got to this point. See how it won't stop boiling as he's stirring it. So at this point, we're going to put this in. You got to dissolve it all and then bring it back to a full boil, just like this, and let it boil hard for a minute. So you want to stir that all and then dissolve it really well. Kind of clumped up the sugar, but that's fine. It'll dissolve. The cool thing about this I like is that we'll be able to use this. I'm going to do a video using it maybe on pork chops or something, maybe a pork roast. But the cool thing is sometimes if your jelly doesn't set up, it becomes more like a glaze or a syrup. So it's kind of cool to have. I've used apricot on pork chops. Can you reach over and put that on? I've used apricot on pork chops because the apricot jam didn't set up or whatever. So I like thinking outside the box when it comes to these things. So we're going to keep stirring this. We'll bring it back to a rolling boil and we'll be back. So it's starting to bubble now. And so he's going to keep stirring it. It's going to come to like a crazy boil that you can't stir down. And one of the things is you'll notice that helps the pectin, that boiling for a minute. If it tells you to do the boil for a minute, always do the boil for a minute or you may have an issue with it setting up. So we're just going to keep going here. I feel, oh, here comes a good boil. Get that guy going real hard, and then we'll do it for a minute. So you see how that's getting? More, and then we'll start timing it.
Keep on stirring, correct?
Yeah, keep always stirring. All right, Alexa, set a timer for 1 minute. Okay, now we're going to do this for a minute.
Sorry.
Get some vinegary steam. All right, so that's a full rolling boil, and we've got 53 seconds to go. So as soon as this is done, we'll take it over to the jarring up station. Okay, it's done. The timer went off, so Brian's going to bring that over here and set it on my little silicone thing. It's still boiling. You guys can see. That's still going.
Bubbling.
It's a bubbling. So here, while that's sitting there, I want to go over how I set my, if you're new to canning, this is probably just good info. The way I set up I call it my jarring station. So I have my product, and then I'll have a little plate here with a paper towel where I set the jar in order to put the food in it. And then I have a separate plate set aside over here for things like my funnel and stuff, so it just doesn't make the counter icky. I've got my lids, and they're just in warm water, and I've got a cloth here to wipe the top of the rims. Got my 4 jars lids, and I've got the rings over there. So the first thing, dear, a fork. Oh, good. You're supposed to remove the rosemary now.
I did.
Oh, okay, put it right here. Okay.
That's what I had the fork for.
Oh, yeah. So good. Okay, now we're going to take the first jar out of here. I'll get the jar and bring it over for you.
Okay.
Now it has instructions for you to debubble, but there's actually no product in here to capture. Here, actually, if you turn this way and then put that right next to it. Hang on. See there how that kind of goes over? Now you want to fill it to 1/4 inch. Perfect. I am actually so excited about this. And I have the little measure tool, and the 1/4 inch is the little first step on there. And you can also use this as a debubbler. You know, it's a good little tool. Well, you're going to go, here, I'll show you. Watch. Okay.
To the bottom of the...
Yeah, go to the bottom, and then you're going to want to do more. Okay, perfect. And then I'll set that there. So see where the 1/4 inch is? And it's usually to that first little ring, that little rim on there. Perfect. Perfect. Now, I'm excited about this. So now you want to take this. You don't need to do that yet. You need to take this and wipe the rim. You're going to wipe the rim. Put water on it. There you go. Give it a good wiping, because if you get food on that rim, it will prevent that lid from sticking. Perfect. Now, put the lid on. Here's another trick. Put those in there face up, face down, face up, face down. Otherwise, they all nest and you won't be able to get them apart. Perfect. It's going to be hot. Okay. Now, this recipe says it's going to do 5. Isn't that pretty? Pretty color. Okay, so we're going to have Brian go ahead and finish up, and then we put them in the canner. It will go for 10 minutes, and then we remove the lid and let it sit for another 5 minutes before we remove these. The reason that you do that is because the atmospheric pressure and the heat, the temperature changes, and it'll cause siphoning, which means your food come out. You don't want that to happen. So we're going to go ahead and put these in the boil water canner, and then we'll bring it to a boil. Like I said, we'll go 10 minutes, turn it off, take the lid off, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then we'll remove the jars, and we will come back to you when that happens. He's still working at it. I think we're three jars in at this point, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Using a paper towel because that is hot, right? Mm-hmm. Super hot. All right, he's doing a good job. Almost done. So I want to show you, we actually did get 5 jars. The thing is, I have additional jars in there because boiling water bounces things around, and these jars could fall over. So always put something that can hold your jars from falling over. And I have it about 1.5 inches. You want it 1 inch to 2 inches above the top of the jars. And then this electric Fresh Tech boil water canner comes with one of these things. It's a diffuser, but it also helps to keep the jars stable. So I'm going to turn this on. We're going to get it up to boil 10 minutes. Take the lid off, let it set 5 minutes, and we'll see you when we're done. All right, Brian is pulled. Ooh, they smell really good. You smell it, huh? Mm-hmm. It's good. Oh, hear that? Anyway, I want you to show the top of the jar. Do you see how there's water on the top of the jar? Got that? You don't want to tilt that off. You want to just set that there. It will turn into steam. It will go away, because if you tilt it, you could get water up under the rim, and then your seal may not seal. That had water on it. That's already evaporated off, and so is the back one. So now what we do is we just listen to those awesome 4 jars lids. Ping! That's right. You did a good impression. All right. So there is our first recipe for, what month is it?
January.
That's right. So we're going to do another recipe in like 2 weeks. I think it's the 26th. Anyway, I'm super excited that Brian's involved in doing this, and I am excited to I'm excited to use those in a recipe. We'll have to do a recipe together using that, because I think it smells fabulous to be really good on pork chops. So there you have it. Be sure to go check down in the description box for all the channels, all the prizes, all the awesomeness. That is Canuary. And thank you, Lisa at Sutton's Days, for organizing this every year. You do an awesome job. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.